interest. He told me, he simply, whatever you say against communists, okay, now you can here defend communists but still be against Stalin when you take into account that, I don't even know this, that the fate of the Polish Communist Party in those purges of the late 30s is probably the most terrible of them all. You know, when Stalin was doing the purges in different communist parties, he usually killed most of the leadership. But with regard, I don't know, was he already planning the division of Poland with Hitler or what, but his plan was a little bit more specific with the Polish communists. He simply wanted to kill them all. The plan, basically, apart from a couple of hundred to the entire Polish Communist Party, all the members he could hold on they were all killed by Stalin. But what I want to say, let me go back, is that, again, is that how you see, or let me give you another example to see how ideology works, which I also like very much. It's the same mechanism of master signifier. You saw the movie, I hope, Joss. I don't like it very much, Spielberg. Now you know that interpreters dwell in this stupid problem. What does the killing shark symbolize? What does it stand for? Is it, I don't know, you have leftist readings where they say it stands for, I don't know, big capital, whatever. You have rightist readings where they claim it's either fear of natural catastrophe, it's fear of immigrants, whatever. Incidentally, you know that Fidel Castro likes the movie, and he says, it's not so clear to me, it's clear. It's sharks means the sharks of the great capital, it's American level, whatever. But I claim that it's wrong to ask this question. The point is that it means all and nothing. It does an exemplary ideological operation, the movie. The point is that, of course, an average citizen has all these fears. You fear being screwed up, like now in this financial crisis, by the banks. You fear immigrants will attack it. If you are racist, you fear I don't know what. You fear earthquake nature. But what the movie does is, as it were, replace all these fears with one signifier empty. It's like the Jew, the shark. Which the point is precisely that you can have one clear object, things become clear, but still you can, which unites the inconsistent multiplicity of your fears. It's exactly the same again with anti-Semitism. Imagine Germany in the late 20s, economic crisis and so on. People had all types of fears. They were afraid of being exploited, ruined by banks. They were afraid of sexual promiscuity, blah, blah, whatever you want. What Hitler did was to offer them one, the name, by saying, behind all this there is a Jewish plot. It means all these fears can be focused in this one figure. And this is what Lacan means, nothing mysterious, by signifier without signified. It's empty because, as I told you, apropos of the Jew and so on, or socialism, all the actual properties are taken from here and there. The only thing that is original, added to it, is the name. And the empty name, the Jew. Of course, Jews are not empty. Now I'm talking about anti-Semitic image of the Jew. And it's an extremely delicate question, but interesting. You know, this historical question, how should I put it? Why were the Jews chosen to be Jews? That is to say, why were the real Jews chosen, elevated, unfortunately, to play the role of the Jew in the anti-Semitic imagination? One can say a lot here, but it's a dangerous topic. Why? Because on the one hand, it's too easy to say it's totally contingent. It could have been anyone else. On the other hand, if you give reasons in the wrong way, you may end up half justifying it. No? It's a tricky question, I know. But to go back, all I wanted to show to you is how this would be the Hegelian point about identity as self-reflective, about how you have a multitude of real properties, like socialism. You live miserable, people exploit you, and so on. You add just the name unites it all into the one. the name is an empty name, not empty in the sense it means nothing, but in the sense that what it adds is just performatively itself as a name. All content is taken from elsewhere. Now you will say, but names do designate something. There must be something which is the objective counterpoint to this empty signifier. That's what Lacan calls object small a. And you know, this is how, again, we operate. When you say, I love, who was my choice 10 minutes ago? Christina, Carla. No, Carla is, you know why I avoided Carla? I really love it too. First, I hate Carla Bruni. She's not my type, to make it very clear. But point two, it raises too many real hopes with me, like, I still like those early thrillers by John le Carré, you know, where the big enemy was Carla. Carla was the name of that mysterious head of KGB who did it and so on. So don't mess with Carla. There is real love there. But that, what I mean is that, you know, when you say this pathetically, Carla is Carla, it means it's not just the bunch of properties, it's the one, as it were. And in this sense, we have here, if you want, a negation of negation. You start with an object which doesn't yet have full identity. That would have been the position, but it's nothing. It even doesn't yet have the identity. Then, this mess is negated, every determination is negation through determinate properties, beautiful, nice, blah, 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 and then you negate the negation Christina, or whatever. You add a name. The name, in this sense, signifier, the name falls into the signified. In this sense, for Hegel, for example, the identity is a reflective category. Now, I'm sorry, we don't have time to go into this because many critics have noted, and this is a serious debate in Hegel studies. The problem is that Hegel introduces terms as concepts, identity, difference, only at the beginning of the second book of logic, Logic of Essence. But he uses them from the very beginning. So what does this mean? Is Hegel inconsistent? Should we say that from the very beginning he presupposes something, some conceptual determinations that he didn't effectively bring? I mean, this brings us to the intricate topic of the consistency of Hegel's logic and so on, which would have been too much. But that's my first point that I want to make with Badiou. And here we don't have time to go to it, but please don't misunderstand me. Alain is my best friend, but you know what's for me a true definition of friendship? I saw a German, I love them, Nazi melodrama. You know that the big hit, and Goebbels was wise here. In Nazi Germany were musicals and melodramas. Goebbels knew very well you shouldn't feed the population just with stupid propaganda. No? Okay, and in one of them, the actress is a kind of a spoiled girl who has a fiancé and she humiliates him, mocks him all the time. Fiancé is a rich guy from upper classes, so the father of this girl tells her, you shouldn't treat him like this, he will drop you, whatever, I want you to marry him. You know what she answers? But I love him, and if I love him, I can do whatever I want to him. I mean, first to put it, there is an element of truth in it. So, in other words, I love Badiou, so let me say all bad things I want to love. You know? Seriously, all that stuff that he was making with intensity and so on, I claim that a little bit, a lesson of Hegel would not hurt him. You know what I mean? That this aspect of, although he knows about it, we have a long debate here. You remember how at the end answering he said, yes, identity in that, the bad world, the intuitionist world, yes, identity is symbolic and so on. But he oscillates here. For example, this also would have been the answer to one of your questions. Ask him this, and it's a friendly question. I mean, he will be glad to